Hi, BC family. Welcome to your midweek devotion. This week, I titled my Devo, Check Your Antenna. So, have you ever tried looking for music on a station in your car radio, right? A sports station, maybe. We watch hockey, so we try and listen to the Kraken. And so you drive around and you're hitting the scan button or you're going back and forth and you hit static and static until you find the frequency, the channel that you want, and you tune into that channel. Well, faith has a frequency. So I want you to have that image example of the car radio. Hebrews 11:6 says, without faith, it is impossible to please him. And I mean, who wouldn't want to please God? But it's impossible if we're not using the correct frequency, our faith, right? We have to be on the right frequency in order to receive from him. So James 1:5-8 says, if any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask of God, who gives to all liberally and without reproach, and it will be given to him. But let him ask in faith. There's that frequency. That's what you got to be tuned into. With no doubting. For he who doubts is like a wave of the sea, driven and tossed by the wind. For let not that man suppose that he will receive anything from the Lord, for he is a double-minded man, unstable in all of his ways. So a double-minded person is someone who listens to two different things or looks at two different things. A better example is someone moving between two frequencies. You can't make up your mind. This station, that station, this station, that station, this station, that station, right? Sometimes in our house, I'll have my son watching the TV and that's blaring. My daughter's playing music and blaring. She's singing, he's watching TV, and it's like just chaos. And it becomes frustrating until I say, you know what? No, we cannot all do this in one room. We pick something, right? We either watching a movie or we're listening to music, but we're not doing both. Okay. So that's a good example because you get incredibly frustrated when there's two different things going on and you have to choose one. Well, we get frustrated when we try to tune into faith and fear at the same time. At some point, we have to choose. Which one are we going to listen to? Which one are we going to look at? And then once we make that choice, you tune everything else out. To tune in means to pay attention, to concentrate, to give heed to. Proverbs says, if you want to be healed, then you must pay attention to his word and listen to his sayings. What's it saying? You have to tune into the right frequency. You can't be listening to it's flu season and you must do this and oh, you better be careful. And then also go into the word and saying, oh, but I'm healed and whole. Can't be doing that. That's why Proverbs says you got to pay attention to one thing, his word, and listen to his sayings. You can't be going back and forth, right? You can't be saying, I'm healed and whole, but oh, everyone's getting it. My turn's next. Or I'm the head, not the tail. Oh, my body's getting so old. My youth is renewed like the eagles. Oh, I'm going to just be cracking as I stand up. Got these old joints, right? You can't be doing both. That's being double-minded in our thinking, in our speaking, and at what we look at, right? Being double-minded. And you can do that with your finances. Thank God that when I give, it's given back to me. Pressed down, shaken together, running over. God supplies all my needs. Well, my bank account says this. I just don't know if I'm going to pay these bills. I'm not sure how we're going to make it this month. You see the double-mindedness? That's like going between two different frequencies. You're not making it. And sometimes, a lot of times, let's go back to the body because it just kind of hit me as I was talking. A lot of times it's like in fun. It's in jest. Oh, we're just joking. And I was listening to Robert Ross the other day, and he is, a lot of churches have like, I don't even know what ours is called. That's pretty bad. Like seasoned seniors or, you have something for seniors. And he goes, they always try and get me to come. And he goes, I don't want to go. And he's like, I'm a senior, don't get me wrong. And he's like, I love seniors. But when you go, all you hear is, oh, I'm so old. Oh, my bones are this. Oh, my joints are that. And oh, yep, that's what you get when you get up here. And I know for me personally, as I've gotten older, I get that a lot from people. Well, you're just getting older. It's going to happen to you. No. It's not. I get that I'm going to get older, but I don't have to claim that that's going to happen in my bones and that's going to happen in my joints and that's how it's just has to be. That's not my confession out of my mouth. That's not the frequency I want to tune into, right? So anyways, back to what we're doing. Just popped in my head. Proverbs 4:25 says, let your eyes look straight ahead and your eyelids look right before you. We have to choose what frequency we're going to tune into. What direction are you going to look? You're either choosing the promise or you're choosing the problem. If you're going back and forth, then you're a double-minded man. And it said that the double-minded man receives nothing. You don't receive anything. You are got to pick the frequency and be on the right one to receive. Sarah Hart Pearson's one time said she was talking with God and the Lord told her, if I can capture your stare, I can change your circumstances. And she went on to say the key to that was the word if. If she could remain single-minded, if he could capture her stare, she could remain single-minded, believing his word and wholeheartedly trusting him, then she could win every time. But she had to choose which frequency she was going to be on first. 1 John 5:4 says, this is the victory that has overcome the world, our faith. It's the faith frequency that's going to cause you to overcome. Sarah Hart Pearson's also said that, she said that if you want to tune into God, then you need a good signal. And for that, you have to have a good antenna. And the title of my Devo, is about fixing your antenna, right? And she went on to say, your heart is your antenna. And with your heart, you're reaching out to God, tuning into his power and receiving all the light that he's predestined for you. And the title of my Devo was Check Your Antenna, because what is your heart doing? You want to have a thankful heart. Are you constantly thanking God? Or are you always complaining about what circumstance you're in? Are you always believing the worst? A thankful heart is key. Do you have a willing heart? Isaiah 1:19 says, there's that if again, if you are willing and obedient, you will eat the good of the land. But there's that if. It's a choice. Where are you going to tune into? If you have to decide what frequency you're going to turn into, because this is what you're going to receive, right? I don't say I want to listen to country music and then turn the radio to sports and then become mad and frustrated that I'm not listening to country music. Now you might think that just sounds really stupid, but that's what we do all the time. We say we want healing. We say, I want financial prosperity, I want restoration, but then we talk the problem. We speak the doubt. We say, well, you just never know. Or you say, I'm not sure. That's the same thing as saying, I want to listen to country music and then turning the radio to sports and then being frustrated that I'm not getting to listen to country music. It's just as dumb, right? So this week, what I want you to think about is, what are you tuning into? Are you saying one thing, but then doing something else and you're being double-minded, right? Tune into the right frequency. Be careful of what is coming out of your mouth, even a joke. A joke is still words that you are speaking, and the Bible says that you are speaking life or death at all times. And a lot of times people are like, oh, it's just a joke. That's great. I'm not going to say it, right? There's some things I just won't say even as a joke. Because to me, my words have power, and I'm not going to confess that. So be careful what is coming out of your mouth, going in your ears, and going in your eyes. If you are standing and believing for something, and we just came from a wonderful Sunday service, 2 Sunday services with Doug Jones, highly recommend you listen to those. He preached a lot of good things, a lot of seed that has taken root in our hearts. Are you going to be watering that seed, or are you going to be shoving it down? Right? Is there something that is growing in you that you're like, yeah, I can stand on that? Then what are you going to do about it? Are you going to tune into the right frequency about the seed that's been planted? Or are you going to bounce back and forth between frequencies, right? So if you're standing and believing for something, then this week I want you to think, am I tuning into the right frequency, right? Am I speaking the promise, not the problem? Looking at the word and not the world, right? Are you connecting to God's receiver? Because when you are, then your victory is just around the corner. So again, I'll end with this verse again, 1 John 5:4. This is the victory. What is? tuning into the right frequency. This is the victory that overcomes the world, our faith. Have a great week. Bye.